What's up, YouTube? We're a couple of very excited cunts. We're in the countryside. We're talking about the Avengers, goddammit. Fuck, I'm recovering. Still, I'm recovering. It's like, we first saw the Avengers on Saturday, and then I went to see it again on Monday, and I'm still just recovering from the sheer awesomeness of it.
You did have trouble walking afterwards. I'm not quite sure if that was a bladder issue or a little from column A, a little from column B.
It was a bit of both for a minute. I did feel like I had a boulder down here, but at the same time I felt like I had a boulder down here, so nice. Swings and roundabouts. Just going into a film with expectations that high and to not only not be disappointed but to have them exceeded in every way. Fuck! That's masterful. You probably haven't seen the Avengers yet, especially if you live in America, so...
Yeah, sorry about that.
First things first, you might want to start watching this video before we mention that Hawkeye's possessed with half of the film, Loki's army is the Chitauri, there's multiple leviathans, and Thanos turns up halfway through the credits. But also, go and see it right the fuck now. Seriously, stop what you're doing, turn the computer off, go to the cinema. Yeah. I've always been a Joss Whedon fan. I love Buffy, I love Firefly, you know, I love Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog, and so I had faith in the man. A lot of people would bitching about how he didn't really have any big movie experience. I'm sure they've shut up now.
I mean, I'm assuming, given the job he's done, they'll probably ask him to do another one. At least one.
Don't be stupid not to. Just, yeah. I'm not sure how cohesive a review I'm going to be able to give it, to be honest, because I'm still in that stage where just constantly salivating and...
I don't necessarily think a review is the best thing we could do right now in terms of it, because there's going to be so many other people out there reviewing it right now, going, oh, this was good, this was good. Let's just chat about the motherfucker, it was good.
Yeah, fuck, right, okay, so, superheroes, there's lots of them. They fight aliens,
well, it being
they
the
fight
Avengers
each other,
film, yeah.
you know.
Yeah, but I did quite like that, actually. All of them got to, like, you know, smack each other about a bit during it.
It's part of the Avengers history they've always scrapped. I mean, I think more than most things, a lot of people really wanted Hulk and Thor to have a fight, which they did, and it was fucking fantastic.
Excuse me.
The Hulk tried to pick up Mjolnir. Basically, it hit every mark and ticked all the boxes you'd want from an Avengers film. Like, Hulk and Thor have got a fight, it happened. You know, Cap does a bunch of acrobatic shit, chucks his shield about, leads the guys, that happens. Tony Stark's a wisecracking asshole. That
was bound to happen. I was going to say, after seeing that film, it's really just cemented for me how much more I want to be Tony Stark. He is pretty much just the epitome of what you can aim for. Just hard-drinking womanizer, loads of money, kick-ass suit, and has the best one-liners going.
Scarlett Johansson's hot as fuck and busts that ass out quite a bit. So, yeah, but just, wow. Yeah, that's all I can really say about it. And that it gave us the insult of the new millennium, really.
Mewling Quim.
Wow. Obviously, it being a 12A, they couldn't quite get away with whiny cunt, but that's a substitute I'm okay with.
It's almost Tarantino-esque, some of how fast some of the one-liners are at one point.
It's very Whedon-esque. The moment where Nick Fury mentions Loki's army of flying monkeys, and Thor's like, flying monkeys, and Cap's like, I get it. I get that reference. Yeah. Such a Whedon moment.
One of the bits I liked most is when they're ripping the piss out of Loki and Thor is there. And it's just sort of like, he may be an arsehole or whatever he says about him, but he's an Asgardian and he's still my brother. It's like, he killed 80 people in 2 days. He's adopted. It's just like, nice backpedaling there. Stan Lee pops up again, yeah. as is a bit of a Marvel tradition. They waited right to the end as well, because all throughout the film we're like, oh, where's he going to be, where's he going to be? And then he finally comes along at the end. It's not disappointing, but they finally bring him out, and I think they should have maybe had him in
I like it. It's one of my favourite of the Stan cameos. There are a couple of appearances from people that I really didn't know, because they announced most of the cast. But then I went in there, and Powers Booth and Harry Dean Stanton pop up in these really tiny roles. I'm like, that's really cool. I appreciated the fact that Cy Tolliver from Deadwood was just there. Sans mustache, disappointingly. We went to Computer Joe's house the night before Avengers had a marathon. All 5 of the previous Marvel movies, Iron Man, Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2, Thor, Captain America, and yeah, fucking hell, it was hilarious.
It took fucking ages though, it took like 11 hours or something. Yeah. We were so tired by the time we got home. It was worth it though.
Definitely, to get that before you go in. and just the fucking running commentary throughout the entire films. Look, it seems every time we watch The Incredible Hulk, there's got to be at least one mention of Banner hulking out while inside Betty. That just seems to be a thing that happens. His arseholishness seemed to be rubbing off on the people sitting either side of him.
Yeah, I know, it was a bit shit really, but it's the sort of like, the sort of in-jokes you have with your mates, it's like, and then you're like, oh shit.
You're never like, oh shit. You're like, yeah, my work here is done.
You've become me.
And that's just a world I don't want to live in, frankly.
Well,
at the end of Matrix Revolutions, where Smith turns everyone into him, if you did that, I'd probably just shoot myself.
Hugo Weaving. He's in Captain America.
He is, yeah. And it's such a relief when he pulls his face off and reveals that terrifying red skull underneath. Like, oh,
and still looks like Hugo Weaving.
Much less frightening. Have to say, Mark Ruffalo did a fantastic job as Bruce Banner. Easily the best screen Banner we've had yet.
I didn't mind Edward Norton actually.
No, Ed Norton was alright. Obviously, Eric Banner's a shit. But yeah, like Ed Norton was acceptable. And when the news came out that he wasn't going to be in the Avengers, I was a bit disappointed. I was like, well, there goes a sense of continuity. Speaking of which, that was another thing. When we're watching Iron Man, and Terrence Howard is like, next town, baby. He's like, nope, not for you. Oh, and then there's all the comments about Don Cheadle.
Yeah.
Probably
best we leave it. Hey, I wasn't. Those weren't mainly me.
You weren't. You were like, oh,
I joined in.
Rhodey's got a bit darker since the last film.
I mentioned that, yes, but most of the other stuff didn't actually come from me regarding that. I was just doing Durka impressions of the guys in the cave in the first one. I didn't leave any comments on the second one.
Yeah, I can't believe we've got this far without mentioning your favourite scene. After Hulk and Thor crash the Leviathan into Grand Central Station.
Oh yeah, there's a bit of a joke, but that's basically me and another friend of ours, Christian. We literally just used to walk around all the time hitting each other. He's quite a bit bigger than me, but we'd still just smack each other about a bit. And just when they stood there, he just goes, hits him off the camera. It's like that's exactly what we would have done.
Most movies can hope for maybe one or two moments that make you want to leap out of your seat in the cinema and just go, fuck yes! Fucking Avengers, that was happening every 5 minutes. Seriously, it's like the helicarriers coming out of the water. That is so fucking epic. And then like Nick Fury's got a bazooka. Wow!
I mean, it's made what? Is it like 30 million or something it's made in the UK in
the
first week or something?
It's made ridiculous
like that, which just goes to show, I mean, even in this day and age you can still make money. And I think it's it's a good franchise. It's making them money.
A lot of people were predicting that it'd make over $1 billion in the box office and I was like, fuck off. But now, like, it's going to smash that easily.
It just makes you think though, like films like that can make more than some small countries do in a year, which is it's kind of worrying.
And as far as the whole fucking Batman versus the Avengers debate goes, Christopher Nolan is going to have to pull some fucking spectacular rabbit out of the hat with The Dark Knight Rises to even compare to the Avengers. It's testament to how good that film is that when we came out of the cinema I looked around and just the smiles on everyone's faces. It was like Marvel Studios, Joss Whedon, you've done a fantastic job. Like, we went with Computer Joe, and literally for about 10 minutes after he came out, all he could say was, wow! Oh my god, wow! And so, what more could you ask for, really, from a film? People always say that The Dark Knight is the best comic book movie ever made. The Avengers is a much more honest comic book movie. Because I always think of The Dark Knight as like a gritty crime thriller that maybe has got a kind of superhero in it. The Avengers is just pure, unadulterated comic wonderfulness. People in bright costumes blowing the shit out of aliens. But not in a sort of crap, hollow, could give less than half a shit Transformers way. It's, yeah, motherfucking Michael Bay could learn a thing or two from Joss and the Avengers.
Can you imagine what would have happened if Michael Bay did the Avengers? That would have ruined your life.
I would have actually wept, I believe. Just, yeah, a movie that's got kick-ass action and a battle sequence that lasts half an hour, but it's got heart and it's got intelligence and it's
the end of it.
It's got characters you care about. Yeah, that's another thing that people have been like constantly complaining that the climactic battles in Marvel films are too short.
So I don't really
deal with
follow
that. Just fucking yeah. Like my favourite scene in the whole film is like there's this continuous shot whipping through the streets of New York of the Avengers just wrecking shit and doing all these bitchin' combos. Like Iron Man blasts his repulsors off Cap's shield and then flies off while Hawkeye's like sniping bitches, and Hulk and Thor are ripping apart one of those giant alien snake things. Just fucking amazing. Go and see it the fuck now. Well, we've been a couple of cunts in the countryside. If you've enjoyed this video, you can like, favourite, subscribe, share, check us out on Facebook and Twitter. If you didn't enjoy it, what the fuck are you doing watching shit videos on YouTube? Get out there and watch the motherfucking Avengers. Feel free to suggest a topic for us to talk about in a future episode. We'll see you next time.
Scarlett Johansson. Bet you wouldn't mind muling her, Quinn.